What's up, guys?
Do you have any kind of time frame on Kevin?
No, I think we don't have a timeline, and it's also I think a few weeks before we'd reevaluate him. So right now we're just gonna wait and see how it heals and recovers over the next few weeks, and then there will be more of an evaluation and hopefully some sort of timeline.
I think I'm afraid I know the answer, but are you comfortable at least giving him a grade? This thing is
Not allowed to give grades.
But are you surprised at the severity? Because when you look at the replay, I mean, Bruce went into it, but it didn't look that bad, on the replay. Are you surprised that it's going to play out this way?
I don't know if I'm surprised. I think that these things can be very innocuous looking from the outside, but the wrong angle, the wrong timing can be pretty dangerous. So I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I would say I'm kind of more used to these things being random and difficult to assess from a video at times. And I think it was just a really unfortunate play.
And when you look at your situation with the big three guys, you hardly ever had them together in this whole 2 years. And what is the chance to develop a little continuity and cohesion, before the playoffs, do you think, under this circumstance?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, if they get a bunch of games together, great. If they don't, they don't. And we play the cards we're dealt. So, it's a little bit out of our hands, and we just have to do the best we can. We can't cry about it. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We got to keep building, see what we can learn and how we can grow during this period of Kevin being out and Joe being out, and how we can continue to move this thing forward. So when they do come back, we're in a better place and further along, and he can rejoin us in a place where we can feel better about where we are in that part of the season.
Steve, obviously everything changes without him. Anything changes the most without him, at least in the next few weeks.
Good question. I mean, obviously we lose a scorer of the highest caliber, but we also lose size and defense. So, he's such a well-rounded player, does so many things at a high level. Plus he gives a small team size on the perimeter, at least. There's so many ways that his absence will be felt. Having said that, it's a great opportunity for guys. And like I said, it's an opportunity for our team to kind of grow. We can't rely on him in ways that we could, and we have to find ways and solutions to be competitive without him.
Have you been able to talk to him at all?
I just talked to him at halftime and then I've messaged with him, but he's obviously disappointed. A guy loves to play, and it's tough anytime you're injured, but this is just the reality. You just got to stay positive and look forward to the opportunity to play and that it's not worse.
Are you optimistic Nick plays at some point on this road trip?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think he's in the more of the day-to-day camp now. It might be the last game of the trip, it might be the next game, but I would say I'm hopeful he can play on this trip.
Steve, I know you talked about Jared last time you played these guys, but it's been now a year since he's been a Cavalier, and you have been around him. What do you see as his biggest area of growth over the past year?
Well, he's just developed very well and gotten better and better at a bunch of things. I think the number one thing is I think he's more comfortable with physicality, more comfortable finishing with contact. It feels like he's physically more developed and capable to make plays in traffic and with adversity around him. I mean, that's been a key development. He always kind of had the speed, length, athleticism, the effort, the defensive instincts around the rim, but I think now he's improved at all those things with time, but also the physicality, his ability to play through contact and do some of those things, I think has taken a step in the last year as well.
He's found a lot of success with Darius Garland and with you, and obviously your position and the dynamic tandems that you've been a part of in your career. When you see those two play together, play off of each other, with such, for Darius, such little experience in the league, what does that say the success that they're having together so early with Darius as a whole?
Yeah, well, I think they're a really good fit. You know, I mean, Darius is a super talented player. He's developing it all the time. The game's slowing down for him. He's able to put pressure on the defense with his scoring, his decision making, his vision. And Jay, I think, you know, his speed in and out of pick and rolls, his length around the rim, you know, really gives him that threat that makes people account for the role and makes it more difficult to contain Darius. And so I think they've found a really nice chemistry between the two of them.
Steve, following up on Darius, as a former point guard, what skill stands out to you about him that has allowed him to grow the way that he has over the last year?
Well, I think he's a really well-rounded point guard. You know, he can shoot at all three levels. He's, I think, a good decision maker. You know, he's very poised. I think he is able to make his teammates better. So he kind of has all the tools you want, coupled with, I think, you know, great speed and quickness. So, you know, he's got all the tools, and I think that's why he's, you know, becoming an elite point guard.
Going back to Kevin, whatever conversations you were able to have, I mean, he had a similar injury, I want to say in 17. Did he express that he was open with this injury would, at the very worst, be that bad or less severe?
I haven't talked to him about that in those terms, but you know, he has been through it. So I'm not sure his exact same injury, but he, you know, he's been through this type of layoff, and he's come back every time he's been injured as good or better than ever. So, you know, I think that should give him confidence that this is just another pause in his season, and that he'll come back and be back at his full strength.
And he's obviously a completely different type of player playing a different position, but are you at least buoyed at all by the fact that looking at the schedule, I mean, presumably you'll have Kyrie for whatever, 9 out of 11.
Yeah, I think it's helpful for sure that we have a lot of road games. Helpful the All-Star breaks in this stretch too, but I think it's nice to have a positive spin on things.
Have you talked to Kyrie about this road trip and the importance of what it means for the team, you know, especially in this situation?
I haven't. You know, I want Kyrie to have the space to kind of regain his rhythm and not overburden it with, you know, now that Kevin's out, you have to take over and lead the league in scoring. I want him to find his legs without feeling an extra burden. I think it's, you know, it's not straightforward. He hasn't played for 6+ months, and coming back into the NBA game with little cadence and difficult practice opportunities, you know, I think we have to give him that space to also find his rhythm without feeling, you know, overburdened, like I said, or feeling too much pressure to do things that too quickly. You know, he already has shown he's right there. His game's right there, and in no time, I think we'll see the Kyrie that we all expect. But I don't want to feel like he has to be that all at once.
He may not be, or definitely not be, thinking about this in those terms. But I'll ask: with what happened to Kevin, does that put any more pressure or thought into Kyrie's head about getting the shot and being available to you guys all man away?
I don't know what he thinks about the shot, really.
Michael Grady on Zoom.
Coach, I'm sure it's disappointing, a little frustrating that you've had so much experience in managing lineups with guys being in and out, but how have you found the best way to manage it, you know, personally, and in your communication with the teammates to keep the morale up and focused on the task at hand, even with guys out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we know anything different. You know, we haven't had a run of guys in my time here. So this is what it's been. We've been constantly adapting and trying to be fluid and positive and go out there and be competitive regardless of who's available. So this is nothing new for us, unfortunately. But so like I said, it's you know, losing Kevin Durant is a huge deal, but like if it's ever been minimalized, it's in this situation because we're used to having all sorts of guys in and out and different things occur. So I think we're used to it. I think we have the history to deal with it the best we can. And although it's a tall order, I think we stay positive, we stay resolute, and we also continue that growth mindset that we want to try to learn, grow, and push ourselves to be better at the end of the road. And And so if that's your goal, we don't want to get caught up in the minutia of wins and losses day to day, week to week. We want to continue to try to get better, find things out about ourselves and our group week to week that put us in a position to be better at the end of the season than we are now.
Last question, Tina Cervasio on Zoom.
Hi, Steve. You sort of answered my question there, but I guess this is more about, your top 3 stars playing together. You would have had that opportunity with these next, 11 road games coming up close here. What are your thoughts? And how do you fathom that these 3 have only really played together 10 times since James joined the team, and how you're still able to, make strides and accomplish things? What are your thoughts on that just in general?
It's a great challenge. I don't spend time dwelling on it. It wouldn't do us any good. It wouldn't do me any good. It wouldn't do the team any good if the leader of the team is, sitting at home contemplating how many games they haven't played. That would take me away from being excited and positive to come in every day and to try to affect the group positively, and for these guys to feel empowered and hope and growth is in the future. So, for us, I think it's staying even keel and trying to be resolute that this is a period of growth, regardless of who's in and out of the lineup and when they'll be back. We got to continue to work every day to figure things out so that when the time comes, we're farther down the road and we're more prepared for the playoffs.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.